Hello, it's Saturday the 17th of December and this is your Birmingham News Weekend magazine, and because it's the weekend I'll be with you for the next hour to take a look at what's going on around our area of Birmingham, Solihull, the Black Country and beyond. Yes, hello again and welcome to the Birmingham News Weekend magazine. So coming up on today's show, we'll start by taking our regular look at what's up on this week's community notice board. Then we'll turn to Carl Jones for his regular look at the silver screen. Des Tong will join me shortly for a look ahead to some of his What's On highlights for the coming week. And then Johnny Doom will return with his pick of the gigs. Jason Forrest will join us from the Milk Bar with another guest. And then we'll remind ourselves what's been going on around our area too. So it's all within the pages of this week's Weekend magazine.
Right then, so let's turn to the community notice board, and this is the news that you sent to us.
If there's something you'd like us to mention, then please do get in touch, but as always, give us plenty of notice.
And if you do want to get in touch, then as always, we'll tell you how in a few minutes.
Now, Wendy Bird has been back in touch to let us know about some more of the things coming up for Christmas at St Bartholomew's Church on Churchill in Wednesbury.
On Christmas Eve, there's an all-age carol service. It's a service to celebrate the joy of Christmas with contemporary songs and classic carols.
Later that evening, Midnight Communion is the traditional service of Holy Communion to welcoming Christmas Day.
And then on Christmas Day itself, the 10 a.m. Family Communion is a simple 1 hour communion service for Christmas Day. And they tell us that you can bring along your presents.
Oh, that'll be fun. So it's all to come at St Bartholomew's Church on Churchill in Wednesbury.
Hope they don't mind one of them big train sets going around the front.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Now, Hobbs Moat Parade is set for an illuminating Christmas thanks to the generosity of local businesses who have sponsored a new Christmas tree.
They recently welcomed the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Glenys Slater, to switch on the Christmas tree lights and enjoy some festive cheer.
It's the first time the parade has been lit up for Christmas in over 25 years, following support from local businesses, Solihull Council and Solihull Police.
The businesses that contributed to the event include Jaguar Land Rover, Bevan Blinds, Eyes Specialist Opticians, George John Funeral Care, Hingley Chemist, Luke's Hair Design, Michael's Food Market and Simply Drink, Tesco, the Electric Centre and the Fishing Lodge. The
event featured the solo charity choir, the St Alphege Church Choir, a craft activity organised by the council's Engage team, and a stopover for Father Christmas, who had plenty of treats for children, thanks to the support of the local businesses who kindly donated.
So if you'd like to find out about or even be part of future events, you can contact them. High Street Support, or one word, at solihull.gov.uk.
Pupils at a Birmingham school recently traded places with adults to become cycling instructors for an afternoon as part of the Children's Commissioner for England's Takeover Challenge.
Yeah, I've heard a bit about this lately. The challenge is a national project which encourages organisations across England to open their doors to children and young people to take over adult roles, putting them in decision-making positions and enabling the organisations and businesses to question to hear their views.
A total of 24 children in Year 6 at Clifton Primary School in Balsall Heath gave cycle lessons to parents, relatives and other adults at the session.
The school was approached to take on the challenge by officers from Birmingham City Council's Big Birmingham Bikes team, as in bicycles, after the school attended Bike Fest in the city centre in September.
Instructors from Big Birmingham Bikes visited the school a few days before the challenge to teach the children the necessary skills to become instructors themselves.
And pupils who became cycling instructors for the afternoon also praised the event. Here's what they said.
Musab Hussain said, "I really enjoyed the takeover day because I got to teach my mum and aunt."
And then Uthman Siddiq said, "I had so much fun and I love being a teacher. I would like to do this again." So it's quite a success, really. Right?
Yeah. Now, schools have been praising a unique Sandwell scheme to keep scores of vulnerable children out of trouble. Police, fire and council services set up Teamworks with an X to help older primary school children in West Bromwich and Smethwick.
Teamworks aims to raise self-esteem, improve confidence and prevent entry into the criminal justice system, either as offenders or victims. Since the scheme started last June, almost 100 children have benefited and now organisers are aiming to roll it out across the borough.
As part of Teamworks, children aged between 8 and 10 attend approximately 8 full-day sessions over a 6-week period, where they learn how to be part of a team and the benefits associated with it. There are currently 12 children on the Smethwick programme and another 12 on the West Bromwich one.
So far, funders for each of the 6-week programmes have included the West Midlands Police and Crime Commissioner, Sandwell Council's Public Health Team and Smethwick Community of Schools.
Tamworth's 4th Question Time event is set to take place in January, and they need people to get involved to make it a success.
Oh yes, the event is taking place at Landau Fort Academy in Amington on Thursday, January the 26th, when a panel made up of representatives from Tamworth Borough Council will be answering questions.
The event will be based on the Council's 3 strategic priorities: living a quality life in Tamworth, growing strong together in Tamworth, and delivering quality services in Tamworth.
The panel will consist of the Council's Cabinet Leader, Councillor Daniel Cook, Deputy Leader, Councillor Rob Pritchard, and the portfolio holders for Regeneration, Communities and Wellbeing, Environment and Culture and Housing Services, Councillor Stephen Claymore, Stephen Doyle, Joy Goodall and Michelle Thurgood.
There are 200 tickets. They're free and they'll be issued on a first-come, first-served basis. You can find out more from Tamworth's Information Centre in the council offices at Marmion House on Lichfield Street, or you can email tic@tamworth.gov.uk, call 01827 709 618 or 709 581, or text TBCTIC with message to 88020 to reserve a ticket. Questions can be submitted in advance and will also be taken on the evening. For that, you can email tamworthlistens@tamworth.gov.uk or post them to Performance and Corporate Relations, Tamworth Borough Council, Free Post BM6842, Tamworth B79 7BR, before 5 p.m. on Thursday, January the 12th.
Plenty to remember there. So there you go, that's what we found pinned to this week's community notice board.
Have you been sitting there hoping that we'd mentioned something, or you know of something coming up that we ought to be talking about, or thinking, those two guys look really cool?
Well, get in touch with us. As we said, make sure you let us know in plenty of time.
So how do you get in touch? Well, there are many ways, but your best bet is to email us, news@madeinbirmingham.tv.
And if social media is your thing, then you can look us up and send a message to @Made in Birmingham TV, Made in Beeham TV. I'll get this right one of the days.
Made in Beeham TV, yeah. And we'll have more for you at the same time next week, will we?
We will.
Oh, okay.
Well, it seems you can't mention Christmas without mentioning
Lewis's.
Everyone was so excited. It was the feature of the beginning of Christmas to go there.
And I should know, because this was me on Muffin the Mule at Lewis's in the early 1960s.
Uncle Holly would come to Lewis's before Father Christmas. And I can't remember how long before. And I had a badge somewhere with Uncle Holly's face on it. And I seem to remember he wore a green top hat and he wore green. I suppose because he's Uncle Holly, he would wear green, wouldn't he?
Uncle Holly, I remember him so well as well. And he was a lovely old man, wasn't he? And he used to sit by Father Christmas.
And you had to go to the top of the stairs to go and see the Father and join a queue that you thought was going to last till next year.
Sometimes you had to walk into town because the trams, if it was snowing, it was always snowing, and we had to stand at the bottom of Lewis's, you know what I mean? In the cold, you know, and I'd have my little hat on with my teddy bear on the top.
It was the best place in town, even if you had to queue all down the stairs, like I'm sure everybody else has mentioned to you.
And we had to walk up 6 flights of stairs to see Father Christmas.
But they had tableaus in the windows up the stairs so that you got, and they moved, and it was just fascinating. You know, there were elves or something. They probably had a different theme every year.
The grotto was beautiful, always there. It was magical fairy tale stuff to us kids that we didn't have much glitter in those days.
Oh, it was a lovely grotto. And he got some little elves, you know, elves, gnomes.
and then seeing Father Christmas when you got to the top of the stairs. And you were quite happy to queue up for however long it took and get your present and tell him what you wanted for Christmas.
And he asked you for your wishes, etc. Whether they came true or not is a different thing.
I used to love that. I think that was my highlight of my Christmas.
And then when you went back down the stairs in Lewis's itself, as a treat, you had some biscuits that were broken, but they were cheaper. But I always thought they were better than before.
And of course the other thing about Lewis's was their windows were just wonderful at Christmas. The other good shop for fantastic displays in the windows was Rackham's in the old days. And they always had these moving, twinkling stories. Fantastic. Loved it.
Welcome back to the programme with me, Lee Bannister. Now Des will be joining me shortly for a look ahead to some of the highlights of what's on in our area during the coming week. But first it's time for a good look at the silver screen. Fresh from his movie slot in the lowdown, here's our very own movie mogul, it's Carl Jones.
Welcome to Jedi News headquarters here in the West Midlands. We've been based here all week for the build-up to the new Star Wars film Rogue One, which is now showing at cinemas across the region. I'm here with Mark Newbold. Tell us a little bit more about Jedi News and how it began.
Jedi News, it's got a bit of a convoluted history. It started off as two sites. So the first site started back in '98 called Wire Zone, then became Lightsaber, and that ran until 2009, and then it merged with Jedi News. So Jedi News is essentially two sites. I was Lightsaber, James, my co-owner, was Jedi News. That started in 2007. So since 2010, we've been one site, bringing very different things to it. And it's just built and built and built to the point of where we are now. We're pretty much the UK's biggest site.
And when you say bringing different things to it, that's everything from fan information, news, a radio station you've got as well.
Yeah, we've got the Jedi News Network, podcast network. So that launched at the back end of last year. We used to be on another network called Rebel Force Radio, which is the biggest network. They made some changes. We wanted to make some changes. It's worked for both sides. And yeah, we're going from strength to strength. It's got 4 shows on there now, so it's going good.
Fabulous. Now, you might have noticed there's a little bit of Star Wars memorabilia in here. Just talk us through this collection. How long has it taken to build something like this up?
A long time. I mean, it started with the action figures, which we'll see in a moment, which started sort of, I'd say, Easter 78. It was still sort of 7 years old. But, I mean, just pick this shelf. I mean, this is the Celebration shelf. So there's the big Star Wars event every year or every other year is Star Wars Celebration. So this has got items on there that range from 99, the very first one, in the States, all the way up to Celebration Europe 3, which happened this year in London. Trading cards, I mean, pretty much the first licensed Star Wars product outside of the books was Topps doing the trading cards, and they've done those cards pretty much all the way through since day one. So there's stuff, even though there's new product coming, it's licensees that have been around forever and a day.
You must have thought when Disney took over the rights to Star Wars, you must have thought, blimey, I'm going to need a planning extension here for my house, because what they do really well is spin-offs and merchandising, isn't it? There's never been so much out there, has there?
Oh no, it's crazy. I mean, everything you can think of, and not to say that their quality control is any lesser, it's just different. You know, you can buy, I have no doubt there will be Star Wars toilet paper out there soon. You know, they'll sell anything they can stick that logo on, but to Disney's credit, if it's not selling, they won't keep selling it. They'll try things, but yeah, there's a heck of a lot of stuff.
So what else we got here? I'm trying to kick anything over, Mark. So show me what else you've got here, because some of this is from the real originals, isn't it? I mean, some of this goes back
way back. So I mean, let's look at the top shelf. So you've got some Mattel now do Star Wars cars. It's something that had never really been done to any great level. Now Mattel have got hold of it. That's the Hot Wheels guys. So now you get Star Wars Mattel cars. These are figures from back in the day. These from the 90s. So this is Power of the Force, Kenner when they took over the license, or rather before Hasbro took over the license from them. All sorts of stuff. And there's just little Greeblies, little, you know, magnets knocking around, power, you know, charging your phone up, power packs and such. Down here, I don't know if you can see down there, that is the old Star Wars fan club stuff. So this is, well, that's quite, you pick up something quite interesting. That's a Revenge of the Jedi patch. So when the
before they changed the name, didn't
exactly.
It? Yeah.
So back in '83, when the fan club came out and brought these patches into your fan club pack, 1 in 4 was a Revenge of the Jedi patch. So it's just cute little.
I'm sensing that's worth a few pounds now, then probably. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's have a look down here a bit. Let's see how else we can find. Here's Darth. Here we go. Paul Naylor's lurking around the corner. Come over here, Paul. Come and say hello. Paul Naylor's here with us as well. He's the Star Wars aficionado from the Express and Star newspaper. What do you make of the Jedi News collection? Because you're a contributor for Jedi News as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I've contributed to a couple of articles, and this when I die, this is where I want to be buried.
There's no room, I'm afraid.
You'll have to get more planning permission for me.
What do you collect, Star Wars wise?
I've got things up in the loft from back in the 70s and the 80s, which occasionally see the light of day when my son wants to have a look at them. And then I've got plenty of stuff from the last year's Force Awakens and a few bits from the Rogue One. But very much one of these people these days that keeps everything in a box, like I'm sure Mark does, ready for when you never know when you might want to sell them on.
But they'll still be going strong, though, won't there? There'll be other things you want to sell them on to raise money.
That sounds a terrible admission, doesn't it, for a fan?
That's almost disloyal, isn't it, Mark?
Terrible.
I'm sure they'll never get sold.
You're out.
Well, listen, thank you so much for hosting us this week. It's been great. I'm glad you enjoyed Rogue One. I had a funny feeling you probably would. So from Mark, from Paul, from Mr. Vader and from myself, that's it from Jedi News headquarters this week.
Thank you, Carl. And of course, there's more from Carl every day of the week in the Lowdown, weeknights at 6:30 and again at 9:30. So, joining me now for a look at what's on this week, here he is. Hello, Des.
Hello, and how are you?
I'm very well, yes. I'm very well. Looking
good.
forward to Christmas.
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to go all Scrooge on me, are
Oh,
you?
no.
That's all right then.
No.
So, highlights of the week for what's on. I'm guessing there's going to be quite a Christmassy flavour.
Yeah. Well, I put a question out on Facebook the other day to say where are Des and Gary this week. A lot of people thought we were actually at the Symphony Hall, but we weren't. We were at the Hippodrome in their foyer, which was really nice. And so we do talk about the pantos. I mean, you can't avoid pantos at this time of year.
No.
And basically we give a rundown of the ones that, a lot of them going up till the 31st of December. But like the Hippodrome one goes up 29th of January, I think.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Mind you, a lot of them do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever we go to pantomime, we always go in the new year because it's a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
You know, there's more,
And also there's the one at the Wolverhampton Grand which goes on until January, and Doreen's in that. So
that's right, Doreen.
that will be brilliant. Sticking with theatre, Old Joint Stock is one of mine and Gary's favourite haunts.
Oh, I love it.
39 Steps, they've got this version. It's Alfred Hitchcock, but it said it's mixed with Monty Python.
Really?
Yeah, and there's 4 actors playing 150 different parts.
Good grief.
And they even have a plane crash on stage. So it sounds absolutely outrageous, so that's definitely worth a check out if you can get a ticket.
It's a great story, that is. I mean, I've seen there were 3 main movie versions.
Yeah.
Robert Powell in the 70s. It's a great story.
Yeah, what's his face? Mills was on earlier as well. Yeah, if you're in the Grand Central Station as well on the concourse, there's a nice exhibition of photographs from the jazz festival that happened in summer.
Oh, yeah.
And an interesting fact that's come out is that over 60% of the people who came were out-of-towners.
Really?
Yeah, so I mean, that's nice because it's bringing revenue into the city. And
that's nice.
You know, it's a good one, talking about out-of-towners. You remember that film, The Out-of-Towners?
I think I do, yeah.
Walter Matthau.
Yeah.
Brilliant film. I had the privilege of being at the Walk of Stars presentation last weekend.
Ah, yes.
When Don McLean, the brilliant Don McLean, he was so funny, unbelievable. And even thanked me for his life stories. He says he's had more people stop him and talk about his life stories show on this. So.
But he was a good one. He was an interesting one.
He was excellent. He was excellent. And Toya as well. Toya played, did about 20 minutes. She was good, really nice. Interesting stories as well, she told.
Yeah.
So, and if you're at the back of the Bullring by St Martin's, there's a thing called the Winter Social, which is a load of stores selling food and drink, all locally done. So it's worth a visit to talk about that.
I look forward to that. I must pop down there, actually.
And a couple of interesting music things coming up. An absolute sort of first here. UB40 have just contacted us. They're doing a cities, what's it called? Cities and Towns tour next year. And they're doing the Genting Arena on the 15th of December.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's one to... And here's an absolute scoop for you.
Ooh.
Robin Campbell has just agreed to do life stories with me.
Has he really?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
So we're going to be doing that.
Love you.
Yeah, early in the new year we're going to be doing Robin, and we're going to do it at the Hare and Hounds as well. So that'd be fun. Yeah. Talking about the Hare and Hounds, you remember the Fine Young Cannibals?
Oh, I do, yes. Yeah.
Well, Roland Lee Gift, the singer, he's still going, and he's doing like a big Christmas party there next week. And finally, remember this lot, Sweet.
Oh, Blockbuster.
Yes. Well, Sweet. Back in 1974, they had a track called Fox on the Run. And it's just been used in the promo for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh, is it?
And it's #1 in the US downloads.
Oh, wow.
Rock downloads.
Yeah.
So they're doing the Robin too.
That'll be something to see.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. Have a
Excellent.
happy Christmas.
Thank you very much, you too.
And I'll see you in the new year. We've got some good places to visit. We're going to be at the, evidently it's the Cyril Regis.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to the Blue Piano, and we're going to a fabulous little restaurant in Sutton Park called the Boathouse, and a couple of other places as well. So we're out and about. If you see us, in fact, the two people who came up to me at the Walk of Stars thing, hello, really nice to meet you.
Nice, thank you, Des.
Okay.
And of course, Des will be back with Gary every day of the week in the Lowdown. That's every night at 6:30 and 9:30. So then, time for a break now. Still to come, we'll be visiting the Milk Bar for another chat with Jason and his weekly guest. Plus, Johnny Doon will be here with his pick of the gigs. And right after the break, we'll be looking back to see what's been making the news this week. Don't go anywhere. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the show with me, Lee Bannister. Time now for a look back across the week from Birmingham News. And a series of workshops have been taking place in schools across Birmingham during this month with the aim of teaching young students about science, technology, engineering and maths, also known as STEM. Bishop Wilson Primary School in Chelmsley Wood was one of the schools involved and met with educational stars Circuit Breaker and Penny Saver, who are on a mission to show us how to save energy, money and of course the future of the planet.
Gas bills and electricity. Children don't necessarily know an awful lot about these or have the worry of monitoring their costs.
Today I can just tell my mum that if you use too much energy then you're wasting more money, and then I can just tell my brother Josh that he's been stupid.
You're wasting money because it's not something that anyone wants to do and it's not cheerful.
E.ON are visiting 20 primary schools around East Birmingham to teach pupils how to be energy efficient and also engage them in science, technology, engineering and maths.
Learned about circuits, they learned about how electricity was made, how they could save electricity and more importantly how to stay safe at home with electricity. I thought the actors were absolutely brilliant, they engaged all children fully and they got so much out of it.
Years 4, 5 and 6 will participate in a series of educational activities and challenges all about energy with the help of characters Penny and Circuit Breaker.
So what we do is we go in with a workshop as Kit Breaker, and over that course of the journey of the workshop, the kids get to teach me, Kit Breaker, about energy, and they get to teach me about how I should be dealing with my energy. I think it's something people need to know more about. I sometimes think that some of these kids are going to go home and actually start educating their parents about it, which I feel slightly smug about.
It's all part of a collaboration between E.ON and Birmingham City Council to offer residents energy efficiency measures and the opportunity to apply for funding towards insulation and heating measures.
The workshop is really designed to talk about energy efficiency and energy awareness to primary school pupils, but in a really fun, lively, engaging and interactive way, so they can go away and they can, in the classroom and the home, use the sort of energy advice and information that they've learned to really save energy.
The workshops will hopefully go on to save children money in the future, whilst also being greener. Olivia Marks, Birmingham News.
Now, for nearly 10 years, Birmingham-based charity Changes UK have been supporting people who are battling with drug and alcohol dependency, with the unique approach that the very people who provide the support have achieved and maintained their own sobriety after experiencing addiction. Last weekend, the charity launched a fundraising event to promote a new social enterprise scheme with the help of a very special guest.
Bow ties, high heels and non-alcoholic mocktails. There aren't too many events of such a nature, but Changes UK's fundraiser was one of them. Changes is a national charity that works with people battling drug and alcohol addictions and have launched a social enterprise initiative with the idea of setting up partnerships with businesses to allow service users to get jobs.
Initially we did do detox and rehab, but then it was difficult to find opportunities for people to move into employment. Now we could go to big corporations and say, can you give these people a job? But it's not aligned with their purpose and it wasn't really sustainable. So you know, we really have created Changes to create something that I would have wanted really, and it's kind of just, you know, evolved from there really.
A familiar face was at the event in Birmingham over the weekend. Russell Brand was named the charity's patron for 2017. As a man who's battled with his own drug addictions, what's encouraged him to jump on board?
For me, anyone that's doing something innovative in the field of addiction, I've got respect for them because of obviously myself. I am a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, so people that are doing things that are innovative and novel in this area, it's interesting to me.
What I admire about Russell is that he's happy to put his head or his neck on the line and let people know that he's in recovery, and I think it's crucial really. There's too much stigma and shame around addiction. People don't understand addiction.
This is going to be the start of many, many more enterprises like this. You can see how the world is changing. You can see how people aren't satisfied with the old way. More and more people are becoming addicted to things. More and more people are going to need the solution. And people aren't going to get that solution in a state-funded manner. Less and less this is going to be happening. So new ways of funding, new ways of empowering people to overcome the disease of addiction. This is the future for us. Change is at the very forefront of that future, here in Birmingham. Does that even make sense to you, Aaron?
Seems pretty straightforward to me, and Changes UK will hope that it will be straightforward for those coming out of addictions to now find work. And if the numbers of people who benefit continues to grow, then it will certainly be a glass half full. Aaron Wiggins, Birmingham News.
Now, giving blood is one of the greatest gifts that people can give over Christmas, and it can go so far as to save a life. But during the festive break, there's a rise in the number of appointments which are cancelled. Olivia Marks went to the Birmingham Blood Donor Centre to find out more.
Illness isn't a choice, nor can the timing be controlled. The need for life-saving blood and platelets is constant, and at Christmas there are no exceptions.
The winter months, it's people getting ill, elderly, younger babies and all this. And nowadays, 1 pint of blood can go to different people because we separate the components that go to different needs and meet lots of needs. There is no waste.
During December, the number of blood donor cancellations rises by almost a third, meaning around 24,000 appointments to give blood are missed, leaving those in need at risk.
I do feel it's important that people keep their appointments, mainly because my understanding is that for quite a while now, the people who run this organisation, they're very short of blood.
For people who cancel, I mean, they make appointments, so they offer their time, and yet they cancel without notice, which shows, I think, a lack of commitment.
Josiah is 21 months old and is one patient who's been reliant on blood transfusions since he was diagnosed with leukemia.
He spent from June last year until about January this year in Birmingham Children's Hospital. He received more than 20 blood and platelet transfusions, absolutely crucial part of his treatment. We know that cancellations are high at this time of year because people are so busy and people get ill as well.
NHS Blood and Transplant is urging donors in the city to stick to their appointments and donate blood to ensure hospitals can continue to treat patients like Josiah over the festive period.
He's gone from being the little baby looking extremely poorly at the Children's Hospital to being a toddler who's just into everything, particularly at Christmas. And so we are just so grateful to everybody, which is why we just encourage anybody else who is thinking about giving blood to go online to find out if they're eligible and then to book an appointment.
So I'm all done here, and that's my first time ever giving blood, and I have to say it's an amazing feeling to know that my blood could go on to save another person's life. Olivia Marks, Birmingham News.
Now, since bursting onto the scene at the London Paralympic Games in 2012, it's been quite a journey for the British Para Orchestra. The musical group, which was put together in 2011, boasts the very best musicians with disabilities in the country and is the only of its kind. In February, they'll be in Birmingham to perform and raise awareness of a lack of equality in the music industry, as Aaron Wiggins reports.
Heroes. That's just one of the words used to describe Britain's first professional para orchestra since they performed at the London Paralympic Games closing ceremony back in 2012. Almost 4.5 years on, and its founder was at Symphony Hall to promote an upcoming event. As a man whose youngest daughter was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, prejudice against disabilities is an issue close to his heart, something that forced him to conduct the para orchestra.
Just remember, there is no other ensemble quite like this one anywhere in the world, so it is really like we're breaking new ground. The big problem we have is that people in general have a real difficulty in putting the word disability and the word excellence in the same sentence. Even though when we look at the Paralympics, which is proved beyond reasonable doubt that there is no barrier to the highest levels of sportsmanship if you have to have a disability. It's about the world changing its thinking, about doing a different kind of joined up thinking in order to allow the new world order to emerge. And the new world order in our terms would be that there will be musicians with disability playing in all the great orchestras everywhere in the world. And the Para Orchestra is the first step towards that goal.
Charles has worked with musicians across the globe and has described the Para Orchestra as some of the best he's ever worked with, including clarinet player Lloyd. As one of the originals from the group, Lloyd suffers from a reading and hearing impairment and feels that more can be done to make things equal for all.
There are very simple, practical things that need to change before we can say that musicians genuinely have a level playing field. Until, for instance, all the concert halls in the UK have a stage or a platform that is accessible for wheelchair users, we can't actually say that they have, a way of even getting onto the stage. There's a long way to go, but I'm confident that the Para Orchestra is very much at the forefront of that drive for change, and that's why I'm so excited to be part of it.
The Para Orchestra will be making their Birmingham debut here at Symphony Hall on February the 18th, breaking yet another barrier. And even though inequality does still exist in some aspects of the music industry, as things start to change, groups such as the Para Orchestra will be the key. Aaron Wiggins, Birmingham News.
Now, last weekend saw two new names inducted into Birmingham's Walk of Stars on Broad Street. Toya Wilcox and Don McLean joined the likes of Lenny Henry, Noddy Holder and Roy Wood, immortalised on the streets of the city where they've made their careers. Our very own Des Tong caught up with Don McLean.
I've walked down Broad Street and walked on the stars, but it never occurred to me that I'd end up getting one. I thought, well, why me? But I'm so thrilled.
I bet you're not going to walk on yours, though, are you?
No, I'm going to go out with a can of Brasso every Sunday morning. Make sure that nobody's done anything dreadful on this.
Would you sort of stand by it and just sort of look down? So
I just stand by it, and as people walk, I just nod and say, just in case they don't know it's me.
Welcome back to the final part of today's programme with me, Lee Bannister. Right, now we turn to the Milk Bar with Jason Forrest, and as ever the Milk Bar reflects what's happening in and around our area, often with a focus on the city of Wolverhampton. Now you can hear it on the radio and as a podcast. And now Jason's here with us each week with one of his guests.
Vicky Price is Associate Director of Communications and Development at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre, and awfully proud of a brand new exhibition charting the history of Panto at the Grand, and I'm with her now. Hello.
Hello, nice to see you.
Good to see you. We find ourselves in the exhibition and it's looking absolutely glorious.
It's so lovely. Our pantomime opens on Saturday, but this is kind of like the first step into the magical world of pantomime, really.
Yeah, and going back to the very first year the Grand was open, which is how many years ago now?
127 on Saturday, on the 10th, yeah.
Panto wasn't the first thing there, because that was the D'Oyly Carte Opera. However, very soon afterwards, Panto was born in the city of Wolverhampton.
Yeah, I believe the first pantomime we have on record was 1902, which I think was Aladdin.
So it's nice that Aladdin is what is on stage this year, and probably a slightly different way of bringing the cast together, because you have an internet sensation, you have TV stars, whereas there'd been musical stars, I suppose, in the past.
Yeah, I suppose, this year the cast is just fantastic. We've got Joe McElgee, known for the X Factor, but he's done a lot more. He's just done his own tour. He's been in Joseph and Technicolor Dreamcoat, so he's lent his hand to acting there, as well as the phenomenal voice that he has. Lisa Riley is just, got so many strings to her bow, and obviously she's on Loose Women at the moment, so people are loving the fact that she's in the panto. Ben Fawkes, who is known as Mr. Bloom.
And loved by the moms as well as the kids.
And as a mother of a 3-year-old who watches CBeebies intensely, that is fantastic. And then we've got Ian Adams, new to the Grand Theatre this year. He has been to the theatre this year in other shows, but it's his first time in our panto as Dame, as Widow Twankey. He has got the best legs I've ever seen on a man, and he's a brilliant performer. And yes, we have the internet sensation that is Doreen, who is just so funny, and she's playing the lazy Empress of China. But there's also a fantastic supporting cast as well. Lucy Kay, who's playing Jasmine, she was on Britain's Got Talent. Then we've got Adam C. Booth playing Wishy Washy. Also Stefan Pejic, who is playing Abanaza, and that's a bit of a different twist this year because he's actually an illusionist and a magician. So we've still got the evilness of Abanaza, but it's bringing a different dynamic to it.
So a very exciting panto.
Very
and
exciting.
will you be sending the cast around to look at the exhibition as well to find out about the history of panto in the city?
Yeah, absolutely, because at the moment they're in what we call Tech Week, which is basically the set's in now. They're plotting the lights and focusing the lights, sorting out all the sound, because it opens on Saturday.
So as soon as they've got that rehearsal and the tech out the way, they'll be ready to come and find out about the past. And they'll be quite pleased to know, I'm sure, they haven't got real lions, which has happened on stage in the past.
And this one is right here, the real lions. This is actually unbelievable and worth coming to this exhibition just to read about this. But in 1973/74, we had a production of Robinson Crusoe that had 4 real lions on stage. And to be honest, the cage doesn't look that secure.
No, it doesn't. It looks a little bit flimsy. You'd be a little bit worried about the front row, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a great exhibition. It's so much hard work from across the staff at the Grand to bring it together as well.
Well, I think what's been great about this exhibition, I had a little bit of input to it, but Claudia Gilmore did the majority of the words on the boards and pulling all that together. Then we had Grant Bushell, who did the design of our refurbishment. He helped us kind of with how beautiful the lanterns look and the lighting and stuff. Then Josh Botley, who is a member of our stage crew, helped us to assemble it all. And Libby Doyle, who's one of our new apprentices, she's very new to us, but this was one of her first major projects to help.
It is looking absolutely fabulous. And in the lighthouse as well. A building which is going through its own turmoil as far as financing goes at the moment. And this is going to hopefully get a few more people down to find out more about what the lighthouse does.
Yeah, we like to consider the Lighthouse our partners. We're both venues in the Wolverhampton. It's very important for both venues to be here for the community. The Lighthouse provides an excellent service. It's this gallery space, the cafe bar and the cinema. This is the only independent cinema in the Black Country, I believe. They're crowdfunding at the moment to create some new signage outside, which would really highlight it in the city. But I would urge everybody to get behind it because it's important that it stays.
Yeah. Well, so a great place. Come along, check it out. Most importantly as well, check out the exhibition. This runs all the way through until the end of Panto, and it goes 10th of December through to the 22nd of January on stage at the Grand for Aladdin this year. But thank you, and have a great time over Christmas.
I will, and you, Jason. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason, and we'll have more from the Milk Bar at the same time next week. And you can download and listen to the latest edition of the Milk Bar from the website, which is www.themilkbarpodcast.com. Right, time now to head on over to meet Johnny Doom from his amped desk as he gives us his weekly pick of the upcoming gigs.
Right, it's me, Johnny Doom, from your weekly rock show on Made in Birmingham. Amped, yes, you can see it Tuesdays, 10 p.m, Wednesdays, 10:30, and Fridays, 10:30. Here's my pick of the gigs. Go and see glam rock legend Sweet, 19th of December. That's at the Robin 2, Bilston, Wolverhampton. Indie rockers The Temper Trap, their 21st of December at the O2 Institute. And Brummie legends The Wonder Stuff. They're going to be 23rd of December at the O2 Institute. Here they are with their massive hit, Size of a Cow.
When you're not looking forward, me, I'd like to think that life is like a drink, and I'm hoping my matter tastes like bourbon. You know that I've been drunk 1,000 times, and these should be the best days of my life. Life is not what I thought it was. Damn blast, look at my past, ripping up my feet over broken glass. I said, look at me now, I'm building up my problems to the size of a cow. The size of a cow. You know it would be strange to live life in a cage, and all the unbelievable things you see written on a page. How easy would it be to be home in time of tea and stop feeling like a sailor rocking on the sea? You know that it's been sunk 1,000 times, and these should be the best days of my life. Life is not what I thought it was. Damn glass, look at my past, ripping up my feet over broken glass. I said, look at me now, I'm burning up my problem to the size of a cow. The size of a cow. The size of a cow. You know that I've been drunk 1,000 times, and these should be the best days of my life. Life is not what I thought it was. Damn glass, look at my past, ripping up my feet over broken glass. I said, look at me now, I'm building up my problem to the size of a cow. Damn glass, look at my past, I'm ripping up my feet over broken glass. I said, oh wow, look at me now, I'm building up my problem to the size of a cow. The size of a cow.
And thanks to Johnny Doom there and his choice of music. As he said, he'll be back with Amped here on Made in Birmingham later on in the week. And so it's time to close the pages of the Birmingham News Weekend magazine for Saturday. Now I'll be back here at the same time tomorrow, and then you can catch more news for Birmingham, the Black Country and Solihull every day of the week. I'll have your lunchtime edition between Monday to Friday at 1 o'clock, and then Mike Prince will be here with more for the Midlands at 6 and 9 in the evening with the latest for Birmingham, Solihull and the Black Country. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here at the same time tomorrow. Throw a bit.